So what's good, y'all? We back with another video, and all I can say is wow. I mean, just wow. Nobody thought Donovan Mitchell would get traded to the Cavaliers. I mean, it was a possibility, but everybody thought it was the New York Knicks. Everybody thought it was a lock. I was like, oh, it's Donovan Mitchell. He's gonna be in the Garden. It's gonna be crazy. Him and RJ. Donovan Mitchell was on the Cavaliers. Now my thoughts. I'm gonna go through all three perspectives: Knicks, Cavs, Jazz. Now, from the Knicks' perspective, I just don't know. Like, it's disappointing, I guess, but at the same time, it's not. Now, we know for a fact the Knicks were actually willing to deal RJ Barrett, which I'm kind of shocked. I didn't think they'd be willing to do it, but they were willing to trade a man. I mean, I thought it would be stupid if they did, so I'm glad they didn't. But just a lot of things, I guess. You know, the Knicks didn't want to offer up another unprotected pick. They had two. The Jazz wanted three. Knicks weren't willing to do it. Kind of understand, considering they were already trading RJ and quickly in the deal. So I understand the Knicks being like, you know, you're not getting another unprotected pick when I'm trading you my best young player and one of my other best young players. It's just not going to go down like that. But also at the same time, just disappointing that you can't get a star in Madison Square Garden. Now I know it sounds like Stephen A. Smith, but it's true. The Knicks are banking on the youth. Here's the thing, you know, the Knicks are banking on the youth. They better hope that RJ Barrett becomes almost a superstar. I'm not saying he has to be a superstar, but close to one. He needs to be a guy that's going to average 23, 24, 25 a night and be the guy for this team. And it comes with, you know, expectations come with the new deal he just signed and him not getting traded. He's still part of the team. He is the future now. So you expect more out of him, and I expect him to be the number one option for this team heading into next season. If he's not, Tom Thibodeau needs to go. And to be honest, Tom Thibodeau still needs to go in my opinion, but we'll see how that goes. I think they'll give him a little short leash to start the year. If they start off bad, I think he's gone. If they start off good, obviously he'll stay. But yeah, for the Knicks, it's the youth. They better hope that Obi Toppin, Grimes, Quickly, they all have good years. But on the flip side, they also need to get rid of a couple people. Evan Fournier and Julius Randle should not be Knicks next season. They should not be. If you don't get Donovan Mitchell, those guys need to go because you're clearly going in the direction of the young players. Tom Thibodeau is a guy that leans on the vets, and having Julius Randle is like his safety blanket. He just keeps going back to him no matter what. So he needs to go. And if they don't go, then this whole thing is just, all right, same old Knicks. We're going into another season. Mediocre team. I mean, we got the young guys, but they're still a mediocre team. They'll finish 10th, 9th in the East at best. Jalen Brunson should be able to help a little bit. But, I don't know. Just a little bit disappointed that they couldn't make a deal. And I'm just a little disappointed off the fact that basically we were forced to throw RJ in there. And this goes back to Tibbs. Because Tibbs never gave the young guys a chance to showcase for other teams outside of RJ. So of course, if you're another team, you're going to be like, I want RJ Barrett. He is the guy that plays the most. He's the guy that they see is making significant progress in his game. So part of it's on Tibbs that we couldn't even trade any of the other guys that had like value to that degree because RJ was the only real guy that brought some value. So from a Knicks perspective, like I said before, just a little bit disappointing. But I guess we move on, you know? I guess we move on. Similar roster, and you better hope for some big strides from, you know, the core 4 or 5 guys that they have. They just better hope that they develop into the players that they hope they can be. And I hope they do, because I want to see this team win. It's been way too long, it feels like, since I've seen them make a deep playoff run. So these young guys better start getting into the next gear, kicking into next gear, and getting better and better, because if not, the Donovan Mitchell trade will look bad. Now, second, Cavs. The Cavs get a major W. They traded basically players that, not worthless, but those guys were not going to be like significant factors for this team. Let's be real. Lauri Markkanen was a solid role player for them. Colin Sexton's coming off an injury. And then you got the rookie that they drafted out of Kansas. I forgot his name, but he was solid, you know, in Kansas. And I guess, obviously, if you're Utah, you want the rookie. And then the picks. That's what Utah mainly wanted, was the draft picks. And now Cleveland got Donovan Mitchell. Garland and Mitchell, probably one of the best backcourts in the league. And this was the type of backcourt where you need the front court that they have to have these two guys in the backcourt. Their front court is good defensively. You got Mobley, you got Allen to hold it down. So having Mitchell and Garland should be fine. And all those guys are young. That's the crazy thing. The Cavs are going to be a force in the East for another 5-6 years because all these guys are super young. Evan Mobley is coming off his rookie season. He might be the best player on this team one day. He's not right now. Donovan Mitchell is, obviously, but Evan Mobley could be the best player on this team. He hasn't even reached his potential yet. Darius Garland's coming off his first All-Star game. And Donovan Mitchell, we know who he is. And then you got Jared Allen, another guy, coming off his first All-Star game. It's crazy. It's crazy. And their bench is pretty solid as well. You got Ricky Rubio back. You got Kevin Love. You got Osman and other guys on that team as well. So Cavs are a pretty solid team. And obviously the young core is the main thing. And right now, their young core is one of the best in basketball. So shout out to the Cavs for making some good choices and pulling off a trade that I didn't think they'd pull off. Now lastly, the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are fully in tank mode. Colin Sexton's about to average like 25, 26 points per game on this team. They got some interesting young players, but this was mainly for the picks. They are out there pulling a Sam Presti. Danny Ainge is pulling a Sam Presti. He wants as much picks as possible that he can flip, that he can make selections with, and he's doing a hell of a job. He is doing a hell of a job getting what he wants. Danny Ainge continues to be one of the best in the league at his job. And that's just what it is. Donovan Mitchell trade happened. The Utah Jazz come out rebuilding, tanking, nice young pieces. The Cavs come out looking like a force in the Eastern Conference now. And the New York Knicks now are a big question mark, as the young guys are basically, they're falling on the hope that the young guys can turn into something. And I think they can. I've made videos on Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, Quickly, Grimes. I think they can turn into something, but with the Knicks, you never know. But I'm holding out hope. Obviously, I mentioned earlier, you gotta get rid of Randall. I put out tweets earlier saying, why is Randall still on my team? He shouldn't be here now. We didn't get Donovan Mitchell. I'd even want him here if Donovan Mitchell was on the Knicks. But now that he isn't, I definitely don't want him here. So we gotta get rid of him and Fournier. Let the young guys run. If Tibbs doesn't play any of the young guys more than 25 minutes a night outside of RJ Barrett, we're going to have some problems. That's all I'm going to say. So shout out to the Cavs. Blockbuster move, the biggest trade of the offseason. Finally, something major happened. And the Donovan Mitchell saga is finally over. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Link will be down in the description below. This has been a checkup where you talk hoops and hoops only. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.